Kazampo and welcome back on Tech Talk. This is your producer Kesang Wangmo, and today we are back with another interesting segment for this week. We will be talking about a very interesting platform called Samuh. It is similar to Netflix is what they say, but it is very different in its own ways. So stay tuned and let's get to know more about this platform called Samuh.
For example, my name is Kencho Dorji and I work as a Communication Manager for Samuh Media Tech. And Samuh is an OTT platform. We are Bhutan's first OTT platform. We are much similar to Netflix. We create our own original contents, video contents, and we also curate the existing Bhutanese films and contents and put it up on Samuh so people can watch it on the apps and web platforms.
Les, thank you for this introduction on Samuh. And I feel that Samuh is a very interesting and a very new idea for Bhutan, and it is very apt for this current situation that we are in, considering how this pandemic has badly affected the entertainment sector here. So yes, I feel that Samuh could be a possible answer for this problem. And yes, let's talk a little bit more about Samuh. Tell us about the services that Samuh provides.
So Samuh right now, like as you said, I think because of the pandemic, we have been really inspired to actually make sure that there are a lot of Bhutanese content online. And also make it accessible to anyone, any Bhutanese living in the country, but at the same time living outside, right? Because I think right now there are Bhutanese video contents online, but it's all everywhere. And so we are creating one marketplace where you can watch all the Bhutanese contents in one place for young children, for adults, even for elderlies. So Samuh is basically a video streaming service, and we also create our own original contents. So there will be a lot of Bhutanese films, series, documentary shows, TV shows, and we're also experimenting with new types of shows that we actually want to have it on Samuh, because I think Bhutanese I think the pandemic proved that we all have a growing appetite for video contents,
Yes.
And I think because of the internet availability now, that we all watch so many contents and we get bored with that so easily. So I think there's a need to a wide range of Bhutanese contents. So we're actually doing that, making it available on your mobile phones and even in your laptops and anywhere.
Okay, so on to the next question. This one might be a little technical. When we talk about putting up contents on platforms such as Samuh, I feel that one main challenge could be protecting and securing these contents. And I think even with Netflix, they are facing similar problems. So how is Samuh planning to address this challenge?
That's a great question. Yeah. I think for any online content that is there, I think the biggest threat today is the piracy and copyright issues. Yes. And we are very, very much aware at Samuh. And that's why we are working really closely with departments such as IP, intellectual property, and even at different media houses. We're trying to see how we can advocate every Bhutanese on the importance of, I think, making sure that you don't pirate the contents, right? And you give credits and you don't go against the rules that are there. I think for example, if you look at any online contents, I think I'll go with like this. I think a lot of Bhutanese filmmakers and Bhutanese creative people are quite afraid. I think they're quite skeptical about putting the contents up on Samuh, because I think they all worry about somebody pirating the film, right? So I think that is there for us, and that's one of our biggest worry too. In Samuh, our service is really secure. Samuh, on the technical part, we are developing the platform from Singapore with our partners there. So the platform is being developed really in a secure way, but you cannot screen record anything in Samuh when you watch in the app. So that is there. Protection is there. But for example, you're watching Samuh in your laptop and somebody records this, laptop through your phone or through different camera. Yeah. I mean, you can do that anyways, right?
Yeah.
So even you can watch movies on Netflix and you can record it using your phone. So I think there's some things that is just inevitable, no?
Yeah.
But I think we cannot be afraid of that and not take bold steps forward. I think at Samuh we're trying to advocate a lot of our partners, production partners, that we have to do this. We have to put our films up there and we have to make it accessible through platforms like Samuh. And I think right now on our part we're working on advocating general public about I think the importance of copyright issues and
Yes, very true. I totally agree with what you said about how you cannot restrict and limit your creativity out of the fear of losing it. And I feel that there's just so much you can do to protect your contents online, isn't it? There are just some things you can't control, and I think that's totally fine. But it sounds like Samuh is doing a lot on their security aspect to protect all of these contents on their platforms. So that's really great to know. So yes, let's move on to the next question. Could you please tell us a little bit more about why you and your team felt the need to have a platform such as Samuh?
I think, of course, a lot of us who are involved in Samuh right now, I think we have lived abroad also, and we came back home, and we realized that when you live abroad, there's so much need that you want to feel connected to home, and you want to watch Bhutanese contents that are there. But I think it are quite limited. There are a lot of music videos online, but there are not other quite variety of contents, and you'll have to be able to search them online on YouTube to be able to watch. And also, as we mentioned about the pandemics, I think the pandemic has really proved that there is a need for growing Bhutanese content. There is a need for variety of Bhutanese content. And I think all of that has inspired us to take Samuh as a project forward, to use OTT technology to make it available for anyone who is interested to watch Bhutanese contents. I think one of our biggest inspiration in Samuh is, I think His Majesty has always emphasized the importance of, I think, using technology to create opportunities in the country. I think our founder, Zangmo Drupa, has also felt the need to take this vision forward, to use technology to create opportunities not just for the people in the film industry, but I think also for the ones who are actually who are part of the film industry, but they work in a different capacity. Because right now we are working together with around 400 people in the film industry as partners and co-partners. So we are we're creating a lot of opportunities for people who have lost their jobs actually because of the pandemics. And if you look right now, I think there is more than 20 films here in Bhutan that are not being able to show it in a cinema. And also we don't have many theaters in the country, right?
True.
So I think all of that, there is a huge need for a platform like Samuh. I think Samuh has stepped forward in making sure that our creative content has a space to show to everyone, and also at the same time, be able to earn something, be able to sustain, through a secure mode of earning revenue. So Samuh is creating that.
So that's really great. Samuh is not just about entertainment. It is also about creating opportunities for job employment. And I think that's really great considering how the unemployment rate has increased due to this pandemic. So that's really great. So yes, Samuh sounds like a really huge project. How many of you are there in your team, La?
Right now we are 10 of us. Right now we are 10 of us in the team. And our team is growing. In the next couple of months, we'll be getting in more editors, we'll be getting in more graphic designers, and not just that. I think we will be more than we're constantly partnering with local content creators and local filmmakers who have so much of experience in creating content and have better ideas because they're experienced in this field of in the creative industry. So yes, right now we are 10 of us, and our team is growing.
And how long has it been since the inception of this idea of Samuh, and when is it going to launch, La?
Actually, we have been working with Samuh for actually more than 2 years, and we started having a tangible office and everything since the beginning of this year. And we will be launching in June. Samuh will be launching in June 2nd. Yes, so I think from June you'll be able to download the app, watch online.
Okay, that's great. Just a few more months left then. So yes, I think you mentioned earlier that your target audience is, younger kids and, adults and even the older generations. So before we start off a project, I think you also do a lot of feasibility study and a lot of market research. So has Samuh done that? And what is the response from the audience?
I think when we did our market research, our primary research has been understanding that there is a very high number of mobile phone users in the country, and the internet 4G penetration has gotten better now compared to before, and I think that really inspired us. And I think the ability to watch contents online is there already, and these things has pushed us to start Samuh. But I think when we did our feasibility study, I think we of course, I think everybody wants more content online, and I think there was a need for a very user-friendly platform online. I think we lacked that so far in the country. We didn't have a highly specialized, user-friendly platform. So yes, the response has been really good.
And I think there are already similar platforms in the market right now. So how is Samuh different from all of these other platforms?
Samuh is an OTT platform, which is over-the-top platform. Over-the-top as in, I think by over-the-top, it means that you'll be able to watch any video contents through internet connection to any device and from anywhere, wherever there is internet connection. So I think that is what OTT platform basically is. And I think right now in the country, there are a couple of, I think, similar platforms. I would say video streaming similar platforms. And I think they have their own vision and mission, I'm sure. I think, so how is Samuh different from this platform? I think at Samuh, first of all, I think our project is a much larger scale. We are investing a lot in creating a different range of video contents, from films to series to short films to documentaries to even interesting TV shows. So a lot of those, and every month we would be adding to the Samuh platform. We'll be adding around 4 films and 2 different series and even like 4 music videos. So every month we'll be adding a lot of contents on the platform. So Samuh is partnering with a lot of local partners, and we're creating new contents every month and every week. So I think that in that way we are very different. We are also creating our own original contents, partnering with the local people, local filmmakers, and at the same time we are curating a lot of existing contents on Samuh. So I would say Samuh is in a much bigger scale, and we are going big because I think video content have the ability only if there is a variety, right?
Yes.
With a variety, and I think with the unlimited supply of contents.
True. So yes, I think you have to keep feeding the audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, let's talk about the registration process. How do you sign up to Samuh, and what are the payment methods that you can use? So could you please tell us a little bit about the registration and the payment part of Samuh?
Right. That's very important.
Yeah.
I think Samuh, so Samuh is basically, we will have a monthly subscription based. So we'll have 3 different plans: basic plan, standard plan, and premium plan. And we also have few contents on the platform, educational contents, that you'll be able to go to the app, into the platform and watch without paying anything. So we have few free contents too that you'll be able to access. And I think that will give you an idea of what contents we'll have eventually. So, but our subscription payment is quite low compared to cable TV. Right now you pay 300 for cable TV subscription.
Yes.
And so I think we haven't gone public with our fees, how much we'll have to pay for basic, standard, and premium. But we have very reasonable pricing. And we also have what we call as pay-per-view model. You can watch only certain film by clicking on it and paying for that film. You don't have to subscribe in a monthly. And so in terms of sign up and registration, Samuh, we're trying to be very user friendly. So you don't have to put all the information, because I think a lot of Bhutanese are used to signing up just using mobile phone numbers. So you'll be able to sign up through your mobile phone numbers and just your email. And so signing up is really easy. And I think I would encourage everybody, by the time it's the end of May, you should start signing up, because for the top 10 to top 20 signups, the first sign up will have exciting prizes, mobile phones, and even laptops. So you should sign up.
I should.
Right.
Okay, so that's really amazing. And yes, you just talked about how we can sign up using only our phone numbers and our email address. But I think when it comes to the payment part, we might have to put in our account numbers and our other personal information. So could you please tell us about how secure Samuh is when it comes to protecting your customers' personal information?
I think, yes, payment, I think your payment codes are quite very confidential. So as I mentioned earlier, Samuh is a very secure platform. And so in terms of payment, we are using the domestic payment system of RMA. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are used to that, where you basically enter your account number and you get an OTP in your mobile phone, and then you use that OTP and you can pay from it. And that is one method. And the other method is we are also looking at the option of paying through MBOP. Right now you can pay your
Yeah.
electricity bill through it, but we can also have an option where you will be able to pay Samuh bill from that.
Okay.
Another option is we actually in every remote places apart from Thimphu, example Gelifu and Samtsi, and in every other places you will be able to sign up and pay your monthly Samuh fee to the BOB Connect agents. Right, so we are partnering with BOB Connect agents who are already there, because I think they are well established, these agents. So we'll be working along with these agents in facilitating with the payments and educating even the locals about what is Samuh, you can use the service, right? It's really easy to pay. So we're using strategies like that.
Oh, okay, that's great. And yes, talking about collaboration, I just remembered, are you also collaborating with any other government agencies or organizations for this project, La?
Right. I think Samuh, as I said earlier, is a massive scale of project, and Samuh has been possible, I will have to say, all thanks to National Credit Grant Scheme, NCGS. NCGS has been very supportive in helping us make our project what we visualize it to be. So there's a huge support from NCGS and even our banking partner, Bank of Bhutan. And of course, Royal Government of Bhutan has been really supportive in taking Samuh forward.
And what about BICMA, La? I feel that BICMA has a lot of responsibilities when it comes to controlling and monitoring the kind of contents that get out in the public. So how is Samuh working with BICMA on this, La?
We're working closely with National Film Commission right now, and they are welcome to, I think, new initiatives like Samuh, because I think they're also focusing a lot nowadays compared to before. I think they're focusing so much more on promoting the creative industry and less on the monitoring aspect. Because all of us believe that I think creative industry has so much potential, especially Bhutanese creative industry. There are so many stories there were so many stories that we can make it into films. I mean, there are regulations for our own culture, I think for our own national security and good of the country. And I think I would say I think the regulation part is changing, I would say, And I think they're also understanding that for platforms like OTT where everything is online, we can't regulate everything.
True.
Right? So I think there is a lot on our part, I think as OTT, for Samuh especially, I think there's a lot on our part to self-regulate ourselves. So I think we are doing that now on in-house. We're trying to make sure that every content fits in, right, to the regulation of BICMA, NFC. So we're working closely with them right now, and I think this partnership is working well.
That's great. It sounds like everything is going really well with Samuh, La. And yes, now let's talk about some future plans of Samuh, La, and in particular, sustainability plans for Samuh, La.
So by the end of this year, we're looking at having around at least 40,000 subscribers in Samuh. Especially on my part in the communication marketing team, we have a lot to do. Because I think, but that is a very, very possible, I think, vision. Because I think there's a lot of interest in Bhutan and Bhutanese content, and we believe that as long as our platform is user-friendly and easy to access, right, we will be able to get in around 40,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And I think if we get to there, that I feel like on the finance and sustainability part of Samuh, we will be quite good to be able to produce new contents every month, right? And to keep the pace of the company going. And I think for now, it looks like we will be able to sustain ourselves if we're able to, make it up to around 40,000 subscribers by the end of this year.
So yes, let's talk about cinema halls and Samuh. How are you planning to compete with this conventional and this classical idea and this feeling and experience of watching a movie in cinema halls? How is Samuh going to compete to that?
I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think in Bhutan there are, I think, less than 4 cinema houses so far. Thimphu, Phuntsling, and I think only Thimphu, Phuntsling so far. Even in Gelifu, they demolished it, I think. There's only Thimphu and Phuntsling cinema houses here. So far, I think the experience of watching film in cinema is different, right?
Yeah.
And I think at Samuh, I think the ability to watch films, new films in your mobile phones, laptops, even if you are in Lunana or in Samtsi or, in Ugasa, I think just the being able to watch new films in your mobile phone also is, I think, is a great privilege. So I think what we are doing is actually in Samuh we have this feature called as a weekend cinema. So every Saturday and Sunday, they will release like at least 2 new films on Samuh. So I think this is an area where I think this existing cinema and the Bhutanese film industry is really looking forward to. For example, we'll be partnering with a new film which is not released yet, and together we'll be releasing it on Samuh. So this weekend we have this new film coming up, and everybody will be able to pay on the Samuh and watch that film for a few hours, and then after 48 hours, Saturday and Sunday, the film will like just disappear.
Oh wow! Okay.
So it's really secure. The film will be in Samuh for only 48 hours in terms of weekend cinema. So we'll be bringing in fresh new films. We'll be bringing basically cinema in your house.
Wow.
So you'll be able to stay in your house and watch the film in your mobile phone every weekend. So I think that gives a lot of opportunity even for the filmmakers who are not able to screen their films.
That's really, really amazing. And I feel like, after getting to know about Samuh, it is also very inclusive in a way, because I feel like Samuh can reach places where you cannot build huge, cinema halls. So I feel like Samuh is very inclusive in that way when it comes to entertainment. So that's really great. So yes, I think we have come to the end of our segment. So before we leave, is there anything that you'd like to say to our listeners? Any messages or anything that you'd like to say about Samuh that I might have missed out on asking Yula?
Samuh will have a lot of interesting content for you to watch, even for children's. We have a lot of educational animations, and we have a lot of religious content too, but we also have a lot of interesting series for young people. I love romance series, crime series, So I think serials do really well in platforms like Samuh. And so you should watch everything.
Yes.
And yes, be responsible while you watch online also, I think. And yes, enjoy watching online and support Samuh.
And yes, another question. Is it just going to be Bhutanese content on Samuh?
All right. So the focus for now is Bhutanese local content, because I think local content has, as I said, a huge ability to go big. So the potential is really huge. So Bhutanese content, being able to watch whether you are in Bhutan or whether you are in India or whether you are in Australia or the US. So for now, it will all be Bhutanese content. Because I think local content needs platform like Samuh, I think, to go big. So yes, it's all Bhutanese content.
So are there any plans on bringing in other contents in Samuh?
I think we're open to collaboration. I think in the future we'll have collaborative projects with our neighboring countries, and even with other countries. And I think even when you talk about local contents, I think we are also trying to have a regional balance, So a balance of all the regional, in Bhutanese content on the platform. That will be, I think, our focus also.
And with this, we have come to the end of this week's segment of Tech Talk. Thank you for joining us. And yes, to all of my listeners, do not forget to go and download and get yourself registered for Samuh.
Yes, download by June, please.
Yes, and also, thank you so much, Kencho, for taking out some time and being here on this segment.
Thank you so much to you and to the BBS.
And this is all I have for this week. Thank you.
Technology.